Hi everybody, I hope you're having a great day. In this video, I'm going to be covering Chasm. He made his first appearance in Amazing Spider-Man, Volume 5, Issue number 93, that was released in March of 2022. His real name is Ben Reilly, and he's the well-known clone of Peter Parker, aka Spider-Man, who has previously gone by many aliases, primarily Scarlet Spidey, with him standing 5 feet 10 inches tall and weighing 165 pounds, also having hazel eyes and brown hair, just like Peter, although he has dyed his hair blonde, while now also having a green glowing like smoke that comes from his body. Now, in addition to having the typical superhuman abilities of Spider-Man, such as high, moderate superhuman strength, speed, stamina, durability, regeneration, leaping ability, agility, reflexes, equilibrium, wall crawling, and spider sense, Chasm also seems to have more highly evolved abilities. These are due to him being exposed to the Beyond Corporation's psycho-reactive goo. And this has made his spider sense go from just being a defensive mechanism to being able to automatically react in an offensive manner, literally counterattacking anything perceived to be a threat. He now also has the ability to psionically manipulate his webbing, being able to manipulate it into any form he likes, which so far has been typically weapons. And to go one step further, he does eventually evolve to a point where he's considered King Chasm. And this mystically imbued form is much more massive and much more powerful, having horns and wings, and I'd assume at least low-level vast superhuman strength. Now, this all would come about after we'd see Ben be recruited as part of an initiative by Beyond Corporation to privatize superheroes, being approached by the company to become a Spider-Man for them. His boss was named Maxine Danger, and she was the head of Beyond's hero department. During this time, Beyond would also arrange for Janine Gold to be released from prison, which allowed her and Ben to rekindle their romance. However, Ben's trust in Beyond would eventually be shattered after Doctor Octopus would target the company for its use of his technology. Beyond would send Ben after Octavius, and after Oct was defeated by Ben, the genius villain would give him a hard drive containing Beyond's dark secrets, and the revelation that the company had chosen him because they saw him as psychologically compromised and easy to manipulate. So when Maxine discovered that Ben had learned of Beyond's dark secrets, she forced him into a device that was meant to erase his mind. However, the device would erase most all of the formative memories that Ben had inherited from Peter Parker. Now, being distraught at the loss of his memories, Ben would go on the run and would later end up joining up with Peter, who was now recovered from some previous major injuries. Two would go after Beyond after they released a new villainess named Queen Goblin. But since Ben's morals were now compromised, he would end up setting up a distraction so that he could get away and go after Maxine Danger. However, she would end up convincing Ben to use the memory extracting device on Peter, which resulted in a huge battle between the two Spider-Men and led to major destruction throughout the building, which released a quantum shifting polymer that was used to cover Beyond's tracks. And after Peter managed to destroy the device, Ben would let himself be submerged in the polymer substance in defeat, and the building would explode, with most everyone assuming that Ben was then dead. But Janine would return for him and discover that he had now been mutated even more by that polymer, exhibiting a greenish glow and having newfound powers. Subsequent to this, as Chasm, Ben would now start raiding Beyond safe houses to steal their tech, feeling the need to get his memories back, as well as being pulled by the realm known as Limbo. He would eventually develop a device to be able to travel to Limbo, where he would meet Madelyne Pryor, aka the Goblin Queen, who he found that he had very much in common with. You know, being a clone and all, since she's the well-known clone of Jean Grey. And after this, Janine would later join them under the alias Hallow's Eve, and the three of them would live in Limbo for a while. Now, later on, we'd see Ben have a problem with a man named Gus and beat him to a bloody pulp, then taking him to the Goblin Queen. She would then kill Gus and consume his soul using a demonic fruit, which allowed her to gain all of his memories. This obviously gave Ben an idea about how to get the memories out of Peter. And from there, he would go on to actually recruit Eddie Brock to their cause. But after much planning and halfway through their campaign, when Madelyne attempted to call off the invasion, Ben would refuse to give up up until his revenge was complete, with him becoming even more incensed after he discovered that the demonic fruit tree that he needed to complete his memory-sapping plan was dying. So after Hallows Eve would give Ben Madelyne's Scythe of Sorrows, and he would transform into a powerful, huge, demonic-looking being named King Chasm and take her throne, the now almost unrecognizable Ben would go full scorched earth and intend on leading his demonic armies to conquer New York City. But lucky for them, and possibly everyone else on Earth 616, Madelyne would regain her place as ruler and manage to imprison Ben in a paradise-like cell within the Limbo embassy in New York City. With this merciful punishment, Peter could visit Ben and hopefully help him work through some of his identity issues. Now, for his powers and abilities and his influence on the Marvel Universe, for my 1 to 10 rating, I'll give Chasm Ben Reilly a rating of 9, which is an epic rating. I hope everyone enjoyed this video. I'll talk to you next time. Be sure to like, subscribe, and join the new Sage.